Hello, my name is Kristin Jankowicz-Shrock. I'm an author and a DMC designer. I have been making friendship bracelets since I was a little girl. I started off with my friends, just making bracelets for myself and for them, but even now I find myself making headbands for all of my sorority sisters in our sorority colors, and my boyfriend even wanted one. I made him a keychain for his favorite sports team. What's so great about these is that they're timeless. Friendship bracelets are popular throughout the world, and using only a couple easy knots, you can really make a wide variety of looks. We're going to really focus on the left knot today. DMC has come out with this great product. It's called Prism, and it's craft quality. It's a really wonderful value because you can get 36 different skeins in only one pack. So it really opens up all kinds of options for different colors and styles. This is one example of a left knot. Using only this one technique, we've got all kinds of different looks. They kind of look complicated, huh? Today we're going to do this blue and yellow bracelet. I'm going to start by showing you how to open a skein of the floss. You're simply going to take a piece of the thread from the top and pull it out. Now, this doesn't really require a lot of tools. For example, you don't need a ruler. I just kind of measure my arm's length across. So I'll go ahead and cut that, and it's kind of a good length to work with. So as you can see, the only real tools that I need are my thread, a sharp pair of embroidery scissors, and also a safety pin. That's the key. Well, I'm going to take my strand of thread, and for this project, I'm going to use 2 strands of blue and 2 strands of yellow. I'm going to make sure that they're all even at one end and pull them straight and find the middle. It doesn't have to be perfect. So when I kind of have the middle of my thread, I'm going to tie what's called a looped overhand knot. Now you can just tie a knot, but to keep my strings together, I like to twist them and then fold it in half, and then I'm simply going to tie a basic knot. And I'm going to leave about a 1/2 inch sticking up. So as you can see, my strings stay really tight together. This is where the safety pin comes in. I'm just going to stick my safety pin through my knot, and then all you need is a pair of jeans, some kind of pants, and you're going to safety pin it right onto your knee, and you're all ready to begin. After I've safety pinned this onto my knee, I'm going to arrange the thread with all of my yellow on one side. I'm going to put those to the left, and I'm going to separate the blue strands of thread onto the right side. So I'm working with 4 and 4. Now I'm going to teach you the very simple left-hand knot. I'm going to start with my outside strand of thread, and then I'm going to take the next one towards me, and I'm going to create a number 4 with that. I like to use my thumb. The reason why this is called the left knot is because the number 4 is pointing to the left. So I'm simply going to cross it over the top, and then I'm going to reach through the center of my 4, and I'm going to pull my thread straight up, holding my base strand taut. And then I'm going to repeat that 1 time, so each string has 2 knots. I'm going to create the number 4, put my thread over the top, reach through the center, and pull it through. And then I'm going to pull it all the way to the top. Then I'm done with this strand, so I'm going to move on towards the center. I'll pick up my next, and I'm going to continue the same thing with the number 4 over the top, reaching through the center, and pulling it straight up. Do that twice. So I'm going to continue all the way across all of my threads. I'm finishing with the 3rd yellow string right here. And it doesn't really matter. They start kind of in a clump. And so you can just separate them where they seem to lay naturally, but there's nothing to get worried about. It takes a couple rows before your bracelet really starts to take shape. And as you can see, your knot kind of covers up the blue thread. So you're creating an entire yellow row. I'm just moving from left to right, 2 knots on each. So as you can see now that we've finished our first row, our yellow thread has ended up on the other side. So we're going to continue then with our next yellow thread in line, making the number 4. Now what's great about this is it's really only one technique, so it's easy to do in any environment. And as you can see, the further that you get along, your threads kind of start to separate themselves and they stay in a more neat order. So now we've got 2 yellow threads to the right. And it's okay as you go to kind of straighten things out. We're going to do our next row. The other neat thing about this is that for this project, we used 4 yellow threads and 4 blue threads, but you can use as many or as few as you like. So you can make it a very complicated pattern and a pretty thick, impressive bracelet, or you can just do a really thin, quick bracelet, which is good for beginners. And we're on our last yellow thread. After I complete this with the blue thread, I'm going to split this bracelet into 2 separate rows. Again, we're still only going to be using the left-hand knots. However, our technique's going to be just a little different in that we're only going to knot across half of the bracelet. And you might, as you go along, have to kind of push things up with your fingernail a little bit, separate, straighten things out. You can even finish knotting your entire bracelet, and then I kind of like to go back and just push things up, straighten things out so that it looks perfect. Okay, so we've finished our first group of left knots using the yellow. As you can see, now all of the yellow has moved over to the right side, and we're going to start with the blue. And now I'm going to move across my yellow. But because it's my blue thread that I'm knotting, it covers up and makes an entire blue row. 2. If you forget and only make 1 knot, it'll be pretty obvious. The second knot is what really gives you that coverage in the color that you're knotting. So you'll realize, and it'll be pretty easy to go back and fix your mistake. Friendship bracelets are so popular throughout the world that you really see them anywhere. I know a lot of people who are traveling and collect them, and I think it's a popular thing to kind of wear your bracelets until they actually fall off. So in addition to putting them on your wrist, you can always make something like a keychain. A headband I had mentioned is really popular. Anklets are always fun. You can even do a big thick belt if you want to. So it's a really great, inexpensive gift. I've given them to both of my parents. And now, even men, my dad wears his and thinks that it's pretty hip. So it's not just a girl thing. Okay. And that can make a big difference with colors too. You can make something really girly with all pink, but with all the 36 skeins in the prism pack, you really have a huge variety to work with. So you can make something really masculine or even ethnic looking. Okay, we are just finishing up with this blue row. And we are ready for our split. The only difference here is that we're really going to separate our blue thread from our yellow. So I would like to kind of set these completely off to the side. Sometimes I'll even flip them back so that I don't get confused. And I'm just going to focus on my yellow. Now instead of doing knots all the way across all of the threads. I'm only going to do them across the yellow. So what's kind of fun about this part is you'll really be zipping along. It goes so quickly. So I'll just get started on this. And you continue the exact same way. You're doing 2 knots on each thread, left to right. So I finished my first one. Now I'm going to pick up 1, 2. So as you can see, this has really started to separate. If I continue, it'll just be 1 knotted row here. And then when I'm done with that, I can pick up my blue and have 1 long knotted row of blue. And everybody's wrist is a little bit different. So there really isn't a rule as to how long you have to make this. But what I keep doing is after I've been knotting for a while, I'll just kind of check, put my wrist on it and wrap it around. And I'm going to continue until I'm about an inch away from meeting my loop. So we're going to jump to that step. Here's what my bracelet's going to look like when it's almost wrapped around my wrist. So I'm going to show you how to join these up again, which is really easy. It's just exactly the same technique that we've been doing the whole time. We're going to knot our yellow across the yellow and then continue across the blue to join them together. So let's do it and I'll show you how that works. I'm going to make the 2 left knots across all 3 threads. Okay, now that we've done that, we're going to rejoin with our blue, pick up the thread on the left, and make a left knot and another left knot. You can already see how that instantly joined the 2 together. So I'm going to continue across the blue. 1, 2. 1, 2. And it's already joined. How impressive does that look? It looks like you did some kind of very complicated technique. But I'm going to finish up my bracelet just the same way that I started it. So the end result is a beautiful bracelet that looks like you're wearing 2 different bracelets from one side, and you can even knot it on the front of your wrist for a completely different look. In addition to the great varieties of 36 skein prism packs, I love this party pack. It comes with 105 skeins. It also comes with 4 great project ideas and enough instructions to distribute to up to 16 people. You can also check out the DMC website for more instructions and project ideas. I'm sure that you'll enjoy making the friendship bracelets as much as I do.